Hello everybody and welcome to the ultimate revisit guide from a bow Amazon. So, haven't done a bow Amazon video in a while, and now I kind of finished up a new variation of the build. I like to believe that still using Faith and not Windforce with a Faith Merc is the best option, but I'm not gonna talk about weapon choices in this video. That is like talking about which weapons are the best for a barbarian. The Flame Wars and comment section is just gonna be only about weapons then, if I focus on that. So yeah, no weapon talk. Deal with it that I'm using Faith. Okay, so we need to go over the build first, just because it's pretty clever. I at least like to believe that this is the the most optimized way to make the bow build. We get guided arrow just for single target, so this is our first ability and our only ability that we do max. Guided arrow is not that much higher damage on single target, but still it's a little bit better than spamming multiple shot arrow, so that is why we go with guided arrow. Multiple shot, you should aim to have at least 10 skills in this one, but I would say that no more than 20 skillers is needed, so I just stop at 20 because that's a nice even number. Now, if you're facing physical immunes, the physical immunes like in Act 5 that are super elites and whatnot, and I don't know if your Merc is dead, or your Merc is just having a hard time proccing his his decryptifier from Reaper's Toll, Cold Arrow is actually a very good option for killing physical immunes, just because we're not going to be using Mara's Atmes Scarab Amulet. So we are going to have Cold Arrow binded actually, so just keep that in mind to bind it as well. There's going to be no points in Javelin. Again, you could consider it just for physical immunes, but again, it's never really gonna be worth it. And if you were gonna be using, any of these javelin and spear skills, you would have to keep Titans on switch, which is not something I recommend. So the passives. So we need to talk a little about the scaling of abilities here. At a certain point where, say, critical strike stops giving extra points, that is when I stop putting points into the desired skills. So like if I put perhaps 3 more points into critical strike, I would have gotten 1 more % of crit chance. So that is not worth it, and that's why I stopped at 16 skillers. And it's the same thing for evade, avoid, dodge. Just put just as many points in and as you want to spend without having to blow through points that doesn't give any value at all. So yeah, try to get the most value out of your skills. And then crazily enough, yes, I put remaining points into decoy. Yeah, I can already see the comment section there, but remaining points into decoy, yes, it is the best option. We are going with a full max Valkyrie plus 27 skills to get the last equipment slot. So Harmony right here gives me plus 3. So actually this is I think it was a plus 6 bow or something on other characters. But since it's an Amazon specific bow, it was nerfed and balanced to only give plus 3. But still that plus 1 still is more than Faith. So we always, when we are in a new game and we need to remake Valkyrie, we switch to Harmony Bow just to rebuff the Valkyrie. So yeah, it's a very little delicate build. So, but yeah, I think with that part we can go over some stats and gear next up. Okay, so time for the skills. They're also kind of specific to the items that I'm wearing. So if you're not gonna copy, the build that I'm using, the stats would be different. Strength, you would get as low as like 50 strength or something if you were gonna use a different base, but I talked about this before. Honestly, I like wire fleece on a Yavason. I don't like the the coconut looking breasts, that leather plated body armor there. looks kind of silly, but the rest just looks very good on a female bow Amazon. So that's why I go with a wire fleece that requires such a high amount of strength. But yeah, just get any wire fleece and do try to value the resistance on this one, just because every point of resistance really helps. I would also say that the 15% enhanced defense is worth paying extra for, but the life and other stats, yeah, it's not worth it to pay for life. But definitely value the enhanced defense of the base itself and resist. But yeah, just get any wire fleece base that doesn't require too much strength, or fortitude base that doesn't require too much strength. Dexterity, we're gonna put remaining points into dexterity after we sorted out vitality. I like to play aggressive, dangerous, stupid, retarded, noob, call it whatever you want. I like to play all those things on soft core characters that are not really, I'm not gonna worry about dying. If I die, fine, I'm dead, whatever. So that is why I go with such a low amount of life. And again, we don't have call to arms to boost it or anything, so this is the life that I'm gonna run with. If you want to be more, safe, and you want to feel that you at least have a chance to live through elemental damage or whatever, that's not going to be blocked by either evade, avoid, or dodge. We have all these passives together with Valkyrie and your Merc to tank, but still you're gonna take damage yourself. You can go as much as like 1.2k life without sacrificing too much dexterity, but still I like the max damage, I like the risk, so that is why I go with such a high amount of dexterity. So let's cover defense. When my chilling armor thingy there procs, I guess I could try to get it to proc now while we talk a bit. But yeah, when that procs, and now it actually already procs, so you see 4k armor now. Fortitude is just completely overpowered with its proc there. It gives so much defense. Just getting so much defense from that proc alone really makes you a lot more safe with the defense part being covered. Life, again, we talked about that. You should definitely just try to get a little bit more life if you can. And then mana. I use some boots here that gives me mana, so that's why I might have a little bit higher mana than the average Amazon. And I also, yeah, I think I had, no, I don't think I had any other stats giving me mana, but yeah, if you can, mana on your boots is actually not a bad choice, just because it's good for having such a massive amount of mana when you do spam a lot of mana or get mana burned. And now the resistance. This was a very big struggle for me, and it's a very costly option that I went with now, but this is just how I sorted. I managed to cap all my resistance just because of the inventory that I'm wearing. So I think I can just show the inventory now. For the most part, I use 313 poison small charms. I have a single 4150. These ones are too expensive for me, so I only keep one. But then I went with a lot of faster run walk, and I think I need to cover this just quickly. So faster run walk, it changes every 5% that you have. So say if I only have one of these in my inventory, I'm not going to be running any faster. I need to have two of these in my inventory, so I get 6. So 3 plus 3 is 6, so that's 5 at cap. So I think I was using, I was using 5 of these small charms, which gives me 21% faster run walk, which means I get faster run walk 4 times in total, if that makes sense. But yeah, just a little note there on faster run walk. But yeah, I also use a lot of faster hit recovery, so I have 4 of these giving me faster hit recovery, so I have a 20 faster hit recovery, or actually I have 20 from my inventory, and then I get another plus 10 from the boots here, so I'm at 30. Yeah, I think I might miss a faster hit recovery right now, but I think the next breakpoint was 32 or 30 by itself. But yeah, I can sort out that always later. And then we have faster, and then we have some yeah, I think I had, yeah, then we have all resist and faster one walk just to cap it a little bit easier. Then I keep, different sort of faster one walks with poison resist. I even have a funny little one here just because I feel like the poison damage is not going to be worth it. So if I can get another 4150, I'd rather use that, but this is better than a 313, so I'm just using this one. And then I'm using a pretty decent, close to 32020, pretty decent small jump. I'm happy about that one. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the inventory. So yeah, that was pretty much just it for the stats on the inventory there. I think in this part I can also quickly showcase the merc, because this is very interesting, actually. So, Faith is an aura build. Fanatism increases the attack speed, it gives attack rating, all that shit. It's completely overpowered on your merc. But the fun thing was that on my old build I had Doom with Fortitude and Gaze, which is a decent build. I was talking about recently reaching the fastest possible attack speed, and I'm actually doing the same thing on this build here, just by using Treasury. So actually increased attack speed dual in my current Reaper's Toll is a waste. I don't need the attack speed on that one. That should just been a 40-50, 50%, 40% enhanced damage and 15 max damage, but yeah, whatever. And that I'm actually using a Delirium, and I want to show off that right now. Why I'm not just using a Gulliams. Okay, 11% striking. Okay, I guess I got a bit unlucky there. But yeah, screw all the free when struck procs. It's all about the confuse. Okay, now you see it. Did you see all the mobs just running around now being stupid with that little yellow thing over there? Now it happened again. Now I can just stand next to a mob and it's not gonna hit me. Okay, of course it's gonna hit me, but it's not like, they don't react that well when confused procs. Even in hell, curses are nerfed in hell, but still, Delirium is so good that I consider this actually better than getting Gulliam's face, just because, well, it can help a lot on boss damage, getting crushing blow and all that stuff. Heck, and this Raven doesn't have any crushing blow, so yeah, Gulliam's face would help a lot on boss damage. But I still feel like the confused proc is so much fun to use, so that is why I do go with Delirium. And then again, we were reaching the max attack speed that we can on this Act 2 Town Guard Rogue, whatever he's called, because of Faith. And then we just needed 44% faster hit attack speed. So this armor here, Treasure, gives me 45, so that's plus 1 extra attack speed that I need. So yeah, great set. I love it. Okay, so time for the gear. Still using my weird gloves here that doesn't have any skillers. Again, getting bow or passive skills would be nice, but this is to keep the cost down. Getting gloves exactly like mine, but having them +2 bow or +2 passive would increase the cost by like, I don't know, 200 to 500 FG. These were pretty much free. I think I paid like 20 FG for them or something. So yeah, great gloves, and I need the attack speed. I need 92% increased attack speed in total. So 92, or was it 95, whatever. But yeah, I need the attack speed on the gloves, so we can't skip attack speed. Knockback is very useful. Strain and dexterity are just very good rolls from these gloves. And yeah, the rest doesn't really matter. I have a fun little proc with Frost Nova, and yeah, that's it. Ravenfrost wing just for the massive attack rating, which again we don't really need, but still it's okay. It's fun to look at having 17k attack rating. Cold damage, so I don't have to wear a cold damage small charm on my inventory. Dexterity, just again for boosting your own damage. Mana helps a lot on the stuff that I talked about before, getting mana bound and all that good stuff. Cold assault is always fun, and then the all-important cannot be frozen. Just a very good ring on a bow Amazon. It's hard to pass up on. And again, I was using a very controversial choice here, sticker stealth build. I'm going to remove it now, so please look at my resistance here while they're all capped. Oh, yeah. Um, so, let's see, that's, yeah, imagine, imagine my resistance now with plus 28 extra resistance. As you can see, all my resistance would only be in like the 30s to 50s. Having this build here is very great option for getting resist and other stuff like mana leech in my case. If I was not using this build here, I would have to get even more resist small charms in my inventory. I would also have to ditch this ring here and get a mana leech ring instead. Yeah, and I would also have to obviously respec, and then I also lose some survival and whatnot. So again, this build is very overpowered, but I can easily play the build without. I would just have to retreat my inventory and use another ring. That's pretty much it. And if I wasn't gonna use this, build here, I was just gonna always use razortail. This is a perfect one, not upgraded, but I mean it's already good. It has some stats that are decent enough. You're gonna get more defense, which again boosted by chilling armor, 10 maximum damage, 15 dexterity. It's actually okay on its own, and then of course it has piercing attack just like this one, which is the main reason we even use these two builds. Nosferatu would never be useful to use unless you really just needed the attack speed. It does come with some good stats, but yeah, it's not worth it. Really not worth it. But yeah, we have to talk about the Sigurd stealth. Everyone talks about it a lot of times in my videos when I use it and whatnot, and I want to clarify again that I don't need it at all. I would just have to retweak my inventory, and that is too costly. So yeah, this is actually a very budget option for Europe, non-leather only. This build is just so much cheaper in some ways to always use this build. And yeah, these boots here, again, faster one walk, 30%, very important. The faster hit recovery, again, very important. I save 2 small chumps in my inventory. Then I get some nice dexterity, some nice mana, some very, very needed poison resist and cold. So yeah, just great boots. I would not consider getting tri-res. I guess they will also be kind of useful, but I don't know. Tri-res is cool, I guess. It's up to yourself if you want 2-res or tri-res boots. And then cat's eye amulet. I want the faster run walk. It's all about run walk on a bow Amazon. There's just no option. If you don't use reverse tall setup, you can go with Atmos Scarab, but again, losing 30% faster run walk is just too good to pass up on. And also, it has some other good stats. Defense versus missile, defense, again it's boosted a lot by chilling armor, 25 dexterity. It boosts, I mean, look at the sheet damage there. The stats, the damage actually moves by quite a bit just from the 25 dexterity. It's just such a good amulet. Very great. And then the last point here, Duelist Tiara speed. Don't go with any other options. The faster one wall, free socket open, rare, Tiara. It's too expensive and it's gonna ruin you, and it's just so bad to trade for. Nowadays this helm probably sells, I guess on non-leather it would probably always be about 100 FG. On leather, on most realms this could maybe be double the price. I'm not sure about that, but it's very hard to get. But you need this one for faster attack speed. If you cannot afford this helmet, there's just no choice of you ever going to afford it, then you can go with a Mavina's helm, because that also has high attack speed. So that's a budget option, so do try to consider that helm just to keep the cost down, because it's already a very expensive build with the boots, the gloves, the faith, the inventory and all that stuff, and then having to get this helm on top is just gonna cost too much maybe for most people. So yeah, good with budget options I suppose. And then faith again. I like faith, gives some really good stats that Windforce doesn't. I will however mention Windforce has knockback and it has mana leech. Two very good overlooked stats. I talked about having to ditch this ring here to get mana leech, but if I had this bow here, yeah, who needs a mana leech ring then? And if I have this bow here, I don't need knockback on these gloves here, and then this gloves could have been +2, passive and magic. Windforce is also gonna do more damage. Honestly, it's hard to tell which bow is the best, but I just feel like Faith is just better. But again, I'm not gonna talk about weapons more. Oh, but said I wouldn't talk about it, so yeah. Gonna stop it there before I ramble on. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers the whole build. So yeah, I think the next up is gonna be the gameplay. Okay, so let's talk a bit of general stuff. You know, when you open the game, you go into a new map, whatever. We're always gonna be running between packs with Harmony. So when you're running around in town, going to vendors, or just running between packs, just put on your Harmony and enjoy the Vigo aura. It's so very good. But yeah, I talked about this before, but Valkyrie gives me that extra skill for getting 27. So always rebuff your Valkyrie with Harmony bow on. Sometimes inner sight is actually quite useful, but yeah, it's mostly just for bosses. You know, if you were standing at Bale, you could then, pop it and then go with guided arrow. That's a decent enough tactic. It's not gonna help much, but it's still there to consider. And then we have slow missiles, a spell that I haven't even rebinded. As you saw, I just rebinded. Yeah, I don't really ever use this one. It's not gonna be worth it because again, it's just, yeah, I can show the range. If you kind of see, you saw that little sparkle between all the mobs now. I can go a little away now. You see the range now. It's okay, but 13 yards. It's not great by any means. So slow missile is not really worth using in my world, anyways. Okay. Man, they just keep coming, don't they? And it's good we can do AoE. Okay. Yeah. Decoy, very good, great ability just for tanking. You already have 2 tanks. Well, actually, more than 2 tanks, because Faith also procs the skeleton as a chance when you kill. But yeah, Decoy, you can use this one to kind of scout a room. Say you're going to Bale's Throne's room and there are lightning souls and other crazy things. You can proc Decoy to kind of get the mobs out, so you know if there are mobs on the sides and whatnot. Guided arrow, yeah, it's just single target, and it's obviously also very good for PvP. So yeah, consider it for PvP and boss. And then multiple shot arrow, I just went with the 20 points, and then cold arrow for physical immunes is always a decent option. And then magic arrow is never gonna be any use, and that's it for the abilities. It's a very simple build. So again, we have pretty much just 2 abilities that we use: guided arrow and multiple shot. And then sometimes I like to just use that decoy. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Oh, and yeah, look at the merc here. I'm just gonna show the sheet now. 5.3k max damage with a reverse toll setup, and this is without Gulliams. This is just very, very great. And on top of that, he gets a high amount of attack rating and attack speed. It's just lovely. And again, did you see the confused procs now? It just covers like room the whole screen. It's just so good. Delirium on this merc here is gonna give you crowd control, which is just nice. So you don't have to consider the frost shock aura or whatever it's called. You can also choose instead of might aura. But yeah, I think I will go spray some multiple shot arrows now. Man, and I was disconnected. What the hell is that? Okay, we can just quickly go in the game again. So random getting a disconnect now. Okay. But But yeah, multiple shot arrow and multiple shot arrow. The only problem with multiple shot arrow is the mana cost. So the more points you put into multiple shot arrow, the more it's gonna cost you. And yeah, I miss a source of mana leech right now as well. So it's a bit of a problem for me to, well, I don't miss a source of mana leech, but again, 5% is not a lot and it can be felt. I feel like getting, 8 or 9% would actually be better than even 5. Because sometimes it just doesn't seem like you leech enough mana to like, you saw that the mana there on the catapult, I actually spent more mana than I regenerate on single target spamming multiple shot arrow. So it's a bit of a problem with the mana, and that is why again getting mana from your boots and mana from even something like ravenfrost wing is actually not a bad thing. Because in order to really leech a lot of mana, you have to hit more than 3 targets at least. It's just like this is fine. Yeah, then I run out of mana. Okay, but yeah, it doesn't really work that well, the leech, unless it's a bigger pack. So do keep that in mind. But yeah, I think that pretty much rounds it up. So before this revisit guide gets too long, well, I suppose it's pretty much a new build. At least the merc part is very fun. I think I will end it with that. Again, the bow Amazon conclusion time and so forth is not worth it. It's okay, but it's just too expensive for what you get out of it. It's also it can't do a lot of things that other builds can. It doesn't kill bosses very fast. It doesn't clear anything other than chaos runs very good. But it's a fun character. I mean, it always looks good to just spam multiple shot arrows on your screen, and then you also get to use some different items that you might not use for your other characters. So getting to use stuff like Cat's Eye Amulet with faster run walk as a priority is kind of fun. Just having that agile, fast moving character is good. But again, it can pretty much only do one player chaos runs. That's the only thing it's gonna be doing, just spamming multiple shot arrows in chaos runs. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good things about the build as well, but it's mostly negative, I have to say. But still, it's a great fun build to complete, and for me this is just another, box to tick out saying that I did this build, and yeah, having a lot of fun with these, not the best builds. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little revisit guide. I think this is the 3rd or 4th video I did now for the bow Amazon. So yeah, hope this will be the end of it. But who knows? So yeah, until then, see you on the next video.